Right, guys, welcome back to Trader Zearth weekly market updates. So, as usual, we're going to start with the news, just a quick one through. And what we can see from this week's news is that it's going to be a busy week starting from Wednesday. We have a lot of high impact news starting from Wednesday all the way to Friday. So the key thing that we want to look out for this week is on this FOMC statement and the federal interest rate decision, as long as as well as the NFP and the PMI. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is going to be pretty busy and hectic for us. So on Monday and Tuesday, the best thing to do is to take small trades and don't get yourself too stressed over it, right? So another important news that we need to take a look at is on this Brexit stuff. So apparently Brexit is supposed to happen at the end of October or early November, and right now that this Europe agrees to the Brexit delay, so we're going to have a little bit more volatility on this UK and DAX indices. So as I do not cover DAX on my weekly updates, I like to say that if you're trading DAX, just be a bit cautious on it, right? Let's head on to the charts. So okay, now we are looking at UK 100, and what we can say is that over the past week, the movement has been really bullish. You can pretty much see a bullish engulfing bar on the weekly candle, right? So the market is very likely going to retest this 7430 areas. So do not look for a short right now for UK market, right? It's going to easily swing all the way up to 7430 before a potential reversal is being seen, unless our good friend Mr. Trump tweets that we're not going to sign a trade deal agreement this week, right? I think if I remember correctly, there's going to be a trade deal agreement this week as well. So be a bit cautious on your trading, right? You can be greedy, but do not be overly greedy. Do not oversize your position. Keep things simple and keep things safe, right? So that's all for UK. Let's talk about Hong Kong. I guess I said last week that this is a good area to enter a long for Hong Kong, and what I would say is that my view remains the same. I believe Hong Kong is going to be going sideways. So unless we see a decent breakdown below this blue color line area, which is a 26500 area, the market is pretty bullish and it's very likely going to retest this 28,000 region, right? That's all for Hong Kong. So I was on a bearish bias for Australia last week, and apparently we're seeing bullish movement for Australia, right? So what I can say is that this is a decent resistance. This is a decent resistance, and due to the structure of the market, based on what you're seeing, based on what the market is telling us, we are going to see further upside movements, right? Because you're creating, this is a new low, this is a higher low, and this is a higher low, right? And if you're going to keep things simple, this is your sloping support, and unless the sloping support is broken, market is in a pretty bullish movement, right? So that's all for Australia. As for the S&P 500, we have reached near the all-time high. We are now retesting the all-time high, and of course, just like the other indices, we are at a very strong resistance. So this was where the market was rejected in the past. Should it break above, we are going to easily reach this 309 90 areas, right? It's going to hit a 3100. It's very possible. But if you want to go for a long, let the market break above and retest this area, then you can safely go for a long. If you want to go for a short, right, you have to see a rejection candle, something like this, right? Something like this. It's got to be something like a pin bar or at least a doji with a long tail. Do not go and short if you're seeing like engulfing candle. If you're seeing green candles, you enter a short, then it doesn't make sense, right? You're just waiting to be burned. So for the S&P 500, the view is pretty bullish. So last but not least, let's talk about Dow Jones. So last week Dow Jones looked pretty bearish, right? And what you can see this week is that the market has gone sideways with this area proving to be a pretty strong support. So this is a flaw for us to look for long positions. Unless this floor is broken down, we should only look for long. So the strategy to trade Dow Jones is that if the market comes to maybe 26650 areas, you can long all the way to 27200 areas. However, if you break this area, you can short it all the way to 25900 areas. So since the S&P is showing, pretty positive signs, I'm going to expect that the Dow Jones is going to be positive as well, right? So basically, all the markets that we're seeing this week, they look pretty bullish. However, to keep in mind that when this prices reach the decent resistance areas that I mentioned, like for Dow Jones, it's 27300. What you need to do is you need to see if there is an upcoming news. Like for instance, if the market has reached 27300 areas and there is FOMC tonight, I would be more than happy to take profit and live with what I have on hand, because we do not know what kind of news they are going to release, and if they were to release something that is not favorable to the traders, it's going to reverse easily, right? So that's all I have for this week. As usual, thanks for tuning in, and I hope my weekly update is helping you in your weekly trading journey. Right? Thank you. Bye bye. I'll see you again next week.